All right, Shalom. We're going to start by saying, HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rukakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, so Lord willing, I want to bring out this article, and this article is from 2 days ago, and basically, as the title reads, it says China's DF-5C, it's a nuclear ICBM missile. I think it said nuclear capable ICBM. It said can reach anywhere at any time. Now, that just go to show like what times we actually living in, to where that China is saying that they have an arsenal that can reach anywhere at any time. Now, when you really think about it, who are they really talking about? Now, granted, you know, they beefing with Taiwan, which is their own people, and you know, with other kind of shit. But who is the common enemy for most of the world? America. America's involved in everybody's business, you know, whether it be Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, and the Pacific region, Africa, Asia is China and all them. Who else? Who else? Well, now I guess Europe and America, they all kind of get together. But at the end of the day, even their own allies are going to come against them, and that's according to prophecy. All right, and it's funny because I was thinking about something earlier, that what happened with Russia and Poland, which are two Edomite countries, what happened with them, and how, you know, basically they called in the Article 4, and they can't call it. I just found out that I didn't know that you couldn't call it Article 5 until after you called it Article 4. So I was thinking something, you know, brother, we talking, like, yo, if that could be a way that the beast can hate the whore, because if something happens where this thing escalates with Poland, Russia, and other NATO allies, and then they invoke Article 5, because they already invoked the Article 4, if they invoke Article 5 and all these nations go to war with Russia and so on and so forth, and America doesn't get involved, that could be a way how the beast could then start to hate the whore and then actually might take action against the whore. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm only get to with this thing with China, because, you know, China ain't no small fry, and China has openly admitted saying that they're prepared to go to war with the U.S. So this is not something that's like, oh, like it's going to happen all so far down the line. They saying they're prepared. Prepared meaning what? Past tense. And you have all these military actions happening, these military drills. You got America sending nuclear submarines over to that region. You got Russia sending nuclear subs to a certain region. You got Iran. You got the whole thing with the small hats, Qatar, North Korea talking about they ready to get into action. Like, so you got a bunch of things happening. You got Japan, they just tested some shit. So the nations are what? They're preparing for war. Just like the scripture said in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And in the NLT, it says all nations to prepare for war, get ready for war. And that's what the nations are doing. So this is not something that's like so far-fetched. It's not something that's such a fantasy that these crazy niggas on the highways and byways are talking about, man. Because they like to say that, oh, yeah, them niggas crazy, they don't know what they're talking about. But yet everything that we've been talking about for years is now coming to pass. And now what? The end is speaking. So I'm going to go to this article. So this is from the, yo, my shit was starting to act slow. Okay, now. So this is from the South China Morning Post, which is a credible source, you know, over there in China. It says how China's DF-5C nuclear ICBM can reach anywhere at any time. And there you go. It said reach anywhere at any time. So what's the temperature right now in the world right now if China's saying that they allegedly have something that can reach anywhere at any time? So go into it. And then Lord, let's be edifying, got a couple scriptures. So it said the showstopper of China's military parade in Beijing last week was a liquid fuel intercontinental strategic nuclear missile known as a DF-5C. Nuclear. What did the Lord say? What? The day of the Lord shall be fire. So all these nuclear missiles is all regarding what? Fire. And it's part of that parade they had last week, which they were talking about. Which the whole world was talking about. It says, as the new system was unveiled on 3 heavy lift transport vehicles, the official commentary emphasized that it was always on alert and capable of striking anywhere in the world. Capable of striking anywhere in the world. So they're already in the east. So basically they can strike anywhere in the east. But what ultimately they mean? What when they talk these summits with Russia and China and so on and so forth, they're talking about what? They're actually talking about the West. They're talking about Europe, and mainly they're talking about the U.S. And what did Trump say a few weeks back? He told all the Pacific region allies to prepare for a conflict with China. And it says liquid fuel rockets have a long range, but they take time to fuel and cannot be stored for long periods after fueling. Unlike solid fuel missiles such as America's Minuteman III. In America's Minuteman III, they just unveiled that. They just, I don't know if it's Minuteman III or something else. Because I think America has something else, or the new thing might be the Minuteman III. But anyway, irregardless, they're still nuclear capable missiles. But it says, military experts say the DF-5C has made progress in these areas. It says its rocket nozzles are apparently protected by membrane-like materials, an upgrade from its predecessor, the DF-5B, suggesting a leap forward in fuel storage technology that allows the missiles to stand for long periods in a silo, ready to launch at any time. Now, this is China. This is real time. This is a couple days ago this article came out. So they already had this capability, man. That's why they said the nations are preparing for war. It says a defense expert in Beijing who requested anonymity due to the sensitivity of the issue. So obviously he wants to be anonymous for obvious reasons. So, what the fuck? Read full article. It says, in the past, some in Washington had to give China's nuclear deterrence capabilities the benefit of the doubt, he said. The close-up shots for the DF-5C during this military parade appear to have been specifically provided to dispel that doubt. Oh, let's go into the word dispel. I'm just going to go into the etymology. Keep it simple. Yo, this shit, my tablet is like this. Dispel. So the definition of dispel goes into late 1400s. It means to drive off or away, to drive apart, to strike, to thrust, to drive away in different directions, So basically, what they're trying to do with this new, so they're trying to drive off. Hold up, let me go back to the article. So basically, they're trying to get rid of that doubt. That's basically what it's saying. Oh my gosh. What the hell? So I'm having technical difficulties. Bro, you serious? Oh my gosh. Yo, man. And see, this is... Okay, so it says, in the past, some in Washington had to give China's nuclear deterrence capability the benefit of the doubt, he said. The close-up shots of the DF-5C during this military parade, which was last week, appeared to have been specifically provided to dispel that doubt. So basically to push that doubt away, to take that doubt away. It said the main advantage of liquid fuel missiles in their large payloads, it says for the same volume, they can carry more fuel, heavier warheads, or multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles than solid fuel missiles. It says, but traditional liquid propellants are highly unstable. For example, nitrogen tetroxide and unsymmetrical whatever the fuck, are extremely toxic and corrosive, while liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen are highly volatile at room temperature. The fueling process is also complex and hazardous. Hydrazine-based fuels and nitrogen tetroxide are not only toxic but also prone to leakage, posing serious environmental and safety risks. It says liquid oxygen must be stored at minus 180 degrees Celsius, minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and liquid hydrogen at even lower minus 250 degrees Celsius, which is minus 418 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to get into something. Hold on, where the fuck? Hell. I'm looking for one. Oh, what the hell? Hold up, so what the fuck? I'm not, hold up. So I'm gonna read a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna get to the scripture. So I'm gonna skip it a little bit, but hey, this here is heavy. So it says this DF-5C. It says when deployed in hardened silos, they provide a critical second strike capability, ensuring nuclear retaliation can take place even after an attack. A key part of deterrence, or it's a counterattack basically. It says China adheres to a no first use nuclear policy. The DF-5C apparent ability to be ready at all times, combined with its global strike capacity, represents an upgrade from a reactive posture where a first strike will be absorbed before retaliation can take place. Instead, it suggests a real-time deterrence model with the ability to retaliate at any time against any target worldwide. Worldwide. It said the DF-5C is the latest in the Dongfeng-5 series, China's first ICBM, which successfully completed a test launch in 1980, which is 6 years before I was born. The latest missile is an upgrade of the DF-5B, which was unveiled a decade ago. Which is what, 2015? It says several countries have developed and deployed liquid fuel ICBMs, such as the Russian Sarmat Heavy ICBM, which weighs more than 2,000 tons and can carry multiple warheads, including hypersonic glide vehicles. President Vladimir Putin said in June 2023 that it would enter service soon. So that's 2 years ago. And he said it would enter service soon. And look what's been happening now. 2 years later. It says according to open source estimates, the DF-5C is believed to carry up to 10 multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles and to have a range of more than 20,000 kilometers, which is 12,400 miles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it said that the distance of from America to China is about 6,000 something miles. This missile that they got, they said could travel. I think this DF-5C, I think they said it could travel 13,000 kilometers, which is no, it was 13,000, I believe. What no, so this is 13,000, 20,000. So I think 13,000 is either 13,000 or 16,000, but one of those it equaled up to 11,000 miles. If you convert it. So that goes to show that they have, basically China's saying that they got things well in reach that can strike America from their land. And that's the thing. And remember what Zelensky told Trump? He said, you're protected by a great ocean, but you don't feel it now, but you'll feel it later. Because remember, if this is Babylon the Great, and the Lord said, which art to be destroyed with fire, so that means that these countries are going to send shit over here. And from their own land or other places where they have these nukes, these ICBMs handy. We've had China and Russia. They went to Alaska last year and did military drills. So this is brewing. This has been brewing. It didn't just start brewing yesterday. This has been brewing for years. And they said that the production of their first ICBM in China was in 1980. I was born in 1986. So it didn't just start happening overnight. So let me get a couple scriptures. Got to go to Joel real quick. I'm going to go to Joel then Jeremiah. I think I'm going to... So this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads, proclaim, this is the King James. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And we go into the NLT of verse 9 of Joel, chapter 3. It says, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. And is that clearly what China is doing in this article? America's doing it, Russia's doing it, North Korea's doing it, Iran's doing it, the small heads are already at war. You already got countries that's already at war. Because what did YAHAWASHI say? He said, you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. So you already have wars being fought as we speak. It says, call out your best warriors, let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And that's what's happening right now. You got countries like Iran. They saying, yo, we got stuff. We can take out the small hats, man. And America is knowing damn well that's a credible threat. And look who they have behind them. They have Russia. They have China behind them. Look what was Venezuela. Now, even though they're not of the, well, heathens are, Esau got his paws through there, but tell them that's supposed to be a Jake country. But it's rich in resources, and now you got America trying to put their palms in them. Seeking what he could take and destroy. Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Moab is a heathen. China represents Moab. Those are heathen. All ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Verse 11 in the NLT, it says, come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley, and now, O Lord, call out your warriors. And that's what they're doing. They're calling out their warriors. They're going to be deploying troops more and more. I don't know if it's China or was it Germany. I think the brother posted in our group chat that Germany is set to deploy some troops. You'll get the whole thing happening with Poland and Russia. So it's things happening as we speak every day, and things that they don't even tell us about. But the things they even mention it goes to show what time and season we're in, what the temperature is, and the temperature is war. And it's getting hot and hot and hotter. So let me go to something else real quick. I don't want to make this too long, so I'm going to go to the book of Jeremiah. So it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 1, and it reads, now, it says, prophesy against Babylon. Now, we know, well, if you didn't know, Jeremiah, the prophet, was in a time of actual ancient Babylon. But also in Jeremiah, I believe it says here as well, in one of the books of Jeremiah, it might be this book, this chapter, but it says that the Babylon should not be inhabited again. Now, the land Babylon right now is present-day Iraq, which is clearly inhabited by man. Jeremiah was speaking of Babylon, but not this Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, which is spoken of in Revelation, which represents America. America, this land, should not be inhabited once it's destroyed. Just like how it was inhabited by mankind before, but it was still a land rich in resources. But at this time, when the Lord sends his judgment to America, this soil is going to be nothing but a desert, man, and it's never going to be inhabited again. Nothing's going to grow here. It's going to be just a dry, desert-ass land. And that's prophecy. That's a promise from Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. So I'm going to jump on down. Yeah, I'm gonna go right to the point. So jump down to verse 9. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. It says, this is King James. And it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Now let's talk about Babylon the Great. And it's funny because this country is known as the North, but you will have stuff coming from all over. The Lord is coming from the east. Yo, China, if China, I think China, it was China, Pakistan, which is Elam. I don't know if North Korea said it. I think North Korea said they're working on something that could eventually strike on the U.S. So what are we really talking about here? And that's what the Lord said the nation to do. Set yourselves array against her. The her is Babylon the Great now. It says, verse 10, I'm reading that in NLT. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9 in the NLT. For I am raising up an army of great nations from the north. They will join forces to attack Babylon, and she will be captured. The enemy's arrows will go straight to the mark. They will not miss. That's those missiles, man. Those missiles are the modern day arrows, because what arrow could someone, archer, send from one side of the world to the other? Ain't no human that could do that. But these man-made arrows, which are the missiles, they're going to be able to do it, because they're going to have the firepower. They're going to have the strength and the velocity, the force to send. Hey, if they got something that could travel over 10,000 miles, that's well in range of America from China to America. And you got to remember too, these countries, they set up shop in other spots too. Who knows what China could have put over there in Alaska? What Russia could have left over there in Alaska? What Russia could have left over in Havana, Cuba? Who knows? They're sure American media not going to tell you every step of the way what's going on. But these governments, these U.S. government officials, they get these, they have meetings all the time about this. And I'm pretty sure those meetings are getting more and more tense more than ever as we speak now. Because now it's getting time to where they're actually, they're seeing that the nation are preparing to go to war with the U.S. Why do you think that Trump this not Iron Dome, but this Golden Dome, they're trying to build for America, which is similar to the Iron Dome, which the small hats have, to fight off, to heat off a threat to this soil, which means to go that these Edomites, military governments or what have you, they know that the threat is real. It says, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. Verse 10 of Jeremiah chapter 50 says, this King James says, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, save the Lord. And we go into the NLT, it says, Babylonia will be looted until the attackers are glutted with loot. I, the Lord, have spoken it. But what's ultimately going to be is, all these nations are going to get fucked up. But yeah, they're all going to take part in sending those arrows, those missiles over here to destroy Babylon the Great. But after that, it's not like China, you're going to end up ruling. Like, that's no. Russia, you're not. North Korea, you're not. Iran, you're not. It's not going to be no one. It's not going to be no, what they call it? Multipolar world. Ain't going to be like, oh, y'all all just got part of ruling on the earth. No. When all this is said and done, when all these nukes start to fly, and y'all all go to war more and more, that's when YAHAWASHI comes back. And YAHAWASHI says he's going to come back in the midst of all the nations fighting. And though they fear, they're going to durst fight him. The war with Satan and his angels and the Lord, the war in heaven, that's going to be the war in the sky. And like they said, a lot of the strong of the military of these governments and these countries is in the air. Verse 11, it says, because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, which is what? The Israelites. Because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. And we go into the NLT of Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 11. At the top of this verse, the caption reads, Babylon's sure fall. So this is surely going to come to pass. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It says, verse 11 of Jeremiah chapter 50 in the NLT, you rejoice and are glad. You are plundered by chosen people. You frisk about like a calf in a meadow and nigh like a stallion. Hold on, where's that? Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm jumping down to verse 13. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 13. I want to get to them key points. It says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. Now, Jeremiah is in Babylon. He was around the time of Babylon, ancient Babylon. Jeremiah passed, Jeremiah died. Babylon went down under the Persians. But the land Babylon was still inhabited afterwards, man. Case in point, right now is modern day Iraq, which you have, I believe, Ishmael there. Either Ishmael or Elon, but I want to say Ishmael. Got some Arabs, this one of the Arabs. But either way, it's still inhabited. So obviously what Jeremiah is talking about in chapter 50, in Jeremiah chapter 50, is not Babylon, ancient Babylon. In the times, like the times of Nebuchadnezzar and all that. So it said it should be wildly desolate. Everyone that goes by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her all her plagues. That didn't happen in ancient Babylon. They didn't go down that way. They went down and it was a transition of power, so to speak. Now, when you read Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 13 in the NLT, it reads, because of the Lord's anger, YAHAWASHI's anger, Babylon will become a deserted wasteland. All who pass by will be horrified and will gasp at the destruction they see there. So all these nations, when it says they shall wail because of her, they're going to wail because now all their prosperity is now destroyed. You know how rich these other nations were made rich off of America, aka Babylon the Great. And at this time, the Lord said, it surely shall be wildly desolate. It shall not be inhabited. And it said they're going to be terrified and horrified by those that see what happened to her. And that's this talk about this land right here known as America. Why do you think they talk about building golden domes? Why do you think all these billionaires are getting a bunch of bunkers? Because they know the inevitable is on the way, and the inevitable is nuclear destruction, nuclear whole destruction. Verse 14, it says, and here's the point. This is actually the scripture I thought of when I seen what they talk about in China. So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. This is the King James. I'm going to read the NLT as well. It says, put yourselves in array against her, against Babylon round about. Excuse me. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Now, China is a country that is bends the bow, because those bows are now the nuclear missiles. So they're a nuclear power. So which means that they're going to shoot those nuclear missiles over at America, just like Russia is, just like North Korea is, just like Iran is. All these nations are, because the Lord said to all the nations that can bend the bow, ain't even going to be their own allies in Europe. I'm going to read that in NLT. It says, yes, prepare to attack Babylon. Not ancient Babylon, but Babylon the Great, mentioned in Revelation 18 chapter, where all the nations were made rich. It's talking about America. It says, yes, prepare to attack Babylon, all you surrounding nations. Let your archers shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. And how does she mainly sin against the Lord? But what they did to the Israelites. The main reason why Esau is in the predicament he's in, because one, he's a disobedient prick. And secondly, he's oppressed the apple of the Lord's eye, which are the children of Israel, the descendants of Jacob. And still to this day, as we speak, September 14th, they're oppressing the Israelites, no matter where they at, but mainly here in America. It says in verse 15, it says, shout against her round about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down, and her foundations are fallen. What? Yo, these businesses, the things that once made America great, that dollar, everything that makes up the foundation of America is going down the shitter. And it's not going to be, it can't be brought back up. You can't unflush the shit once it gets flushed down the toilet, and America right now is circling the drain. It says her walls are thrown down. It says, for it is the vengeance of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, take vengeance upon her as she hath done unto her. So not only they're going to have the nations, but what's going to happen when the Israelites get the power? Starting with the elect, when YAHAWASHI comes back. Because that's going to be a whole nother destruction you got to deal with. Well, it's the same destruction, but you got the missiles, but then you also got when YAHAWASHI comes back with that fire. And what he say? What will have it be yet already kindled? He coming in the midst of fire and bringing more fire, more fire. I'm reading that in NLT. Jeremiah 50:15. It says, shout war cries against her from every side. Look, she surrenders. Her walls have fallen. It is the Lord's, Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI's vengeance. So take vengeance on her. Do to her as she has done to others. And what has America done to others? Great robbery and murder. Taking for all your resources. They've gone through the whole world seeking and who they could devour and destroy. Because why? They're Satan's main weapon. That's how they got all their wicked councils on the ground. That's how they got all the nations to bow down to all their whatever. They use America. And they use America really to push out wickedness to Jake. Because this is where the majority of the Israelites are at. Hence, why you think America is in the state it's in right now? Because of all the wickedness and the abominations that take place on this soil. That's why the Lord said the only remedy is going to be that fire that's surely to come and soon coming. The nations are prepared. You see what China said? They got something that can hit anywhere, anytime. So, hey, there you go. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM KAKADASH. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.